What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. Today, we have the Rain team with Mega Beedrill, once again with Pelipper, Ludicolo, Mega Beedrill, the Bisharp, Tapu Koko, and Garchomp. Let's see how this is going to go. But, of course, if you haven't checked out the previous episode, highly recommend go checking out. And I do apologize that there was no video yesterday, because of the fact that I did stream yesterday, and after the stream I ended up having some things to do, and after that I came home, tried to record an episode. It was like the last half, no, it wasn't half an hour, it was like last 20 minutes of Battle Spot before maintenance goes on, because Monday is maintenance day. And then what happened was I couldn't find the game, so yeah, I tried. As we find our first opponent from Japan, 70-78 rating. I'm hoping we can bring Beedrill. Do I want to bring Beedrill against this team? I actually want to bring Beedrill against my opponent's team. I really, really do. I really, really do. Ferrothorn's actually really tough for my team. I think Gyro Ball goes a lot of what I have, potentially. Tough one for sure. I think my opponent's going to lead Ludicolo. I don't think he lead Pelipper, though. I'm really not expecting Pelipper to lead. The reason I'm not expecting Pelipper to lead is because of the fact that... Okay, would you lead Pelipper, though? The reason why I'm suspecting you don't lead Pelipper is... because I feel like you would want something more threatening as a lead. Maybe you could lead, like, Ludicolo, Salamence, for instance, or... But you could lead the Pelipper Ludicolo. Are we going to play the Mirror? I really don't want to play the Mirror, because I know that's something I would lose. That is something I know I would lose. I think the 4 Pokemon I want to bring are Pelipper, Ludicolo, Bisharp, and Beedrill. The reason I want to bring Bisharp is because it's probably my best damage output against Ferrothorn. Unless it's like a cursed Ferrothorn. Let's go with these Pokemon. If I remember, we did play my opponent and it was like cursed Ferrothorn? Did we play my opponent? I feel like we did. I really can't remember. Oh well. This is going to be a tough matchup because the opposing mirror with Pelipper is definitely scary. 100% scary. I'm guessing it's, yeah, because it's Pelipper Ludicolo versus Pelipper Ludicolo. This is not going to be a fun time. We'll lead Pelipper Ludicolo versus Pelipper Ludicolo. I'm guessing it is Z-move on the Ludicolo. That's what I would assume here. Just go for the Hurricane into Ludicolo, and I think fake out the Pelipper. I think if I lose Ludicolo, I mean, Bishop could become a bit of a not Bishop. I mean, Pelipper could become an issue, but I don't want my opponent faking out my own Pelipper and gaining momentum that way. So I think I'm just going to fake out the Pelipper and go for the Hurricane into the Ludicolo slot. We're going to see fake out come out. It's hardening down my Pelipper, so we're just going to trade fake outs. Normally, I don't want to lose my Sash, but I think it's fine since my Pelipper confirms to be either faster or we speed tie with my opponent's Pelipper, which is good information. I feel like we would exchange Hurricanes instead of Tailwinding right away, because I don't know if you would Tailwind here right away. I might as well just go for all the damage I can. I don't think Hydro Vortex knocks out Pelipper. Like, I don't think either one of ours does. We're going to see the Energy Ball come out into the Ludicolo, which is fine. I'm going to go for the Hydro Vortex here. Should be able to... I want to say this knocks out Pelipper. No, I don't think it does. Okay, I don't think this knocks out Pelipper, but it does put it into range of Sucker Punch. And, you know, since I'm probably not getting my Z-move off here, I feel like it's okay. So we'll go for the Hydro Vortex. We'll come out into my opponent's Pelipper. And if this does knock out, that's fantastic for me, but I really don't feel like that's the case. Oh, it does. Crit? No, that actually just normally picks it up. Wow. I was not expecting that. Hurricane going to come out into Ludicolo. Are you Assault Vest? You're not, so I just knocked out the Ludicolo, and we're in a fantastic spot right here. I'm guessing the last one... Yeah, that's a fantastic spot here. Dang. So it looks like we weren't going to trade Hydro Vortex. Maybe my opponent was expecting to protect here. Coco's going to come out with Swampert. Okay. Still very scary of a position. Not really worried about Coco. I am kind of worried about the Swampert. Because I don't think Swampert can knock out Ludicolo at this range, though. I do want to go for the Giga Drain because I do win against the Coco with my Mega Beedrill in the back. So I'm going to risk the Giga Drain right here and get Tailwind up, because even if I lose this trade potentially, like I get a free Tailwind up, I can go back into Beedrill. I could go for like a U-turn in the Swampert and put the Swampert in range of Sucker Punch. Or I could go for Sucker Punch just to put the Swampert in range of my U-turn. So let's see what is going to come out from my opponent. It's Mega Evolving, so just going to go for the Ice Punch. I don't think this will knock out Ludicolo, especially since I have a little bit of bulk. Yeah, so Giga Drain going to come out. That should be able to knock out the Swampert. Yeah, and I'll be able to heal back all that recovery. So Ludicolo just going to heal back. Swampert going to go down. Electro Web. Assault Vest, it looks like. It does knock out my Pelipper, and that was actually really good damage onto my Ludicolo. Although I really do feel confident about having the win, I will just go Beedrill right here. Just go Beedrill. Do I want to risk this being Sash for some reason? I think I just U-turn here. I don't think there's a reason to risk it being a random focus Sash Tapu Koko. I mean, you know, you don't really see Sash Tapu Koko, but there have been a few instances of a Sash Tapu Koko coming into play, and I have no reason not to do this, because if I call it a Focus Sash wrong, yes, I could probably go for like a Sucker Punch install, but there's always that chance of something going wrong, so I feel like always the correct play here is just to go for the U-turn, because there's no way Tapu Koko's living a Poison Jab, and there's nothing that Tapu Koko can do to boost its speed, unless this is actually an Agility Tapu Koko. But even if it's an Agility Tapu Koko, like my Bisharp comes in, it hasn't taken any damage, a Spread Move's not going to knock out Bisharp, and then a Life Orb Iron Head will finish off the Tapu Koko at that range, especially with how much the U-turn did. So, Ludicolo comes out, Electro Web going to come out, Bisharp going to gain a little bit. Wow, that took a lot. Critical hit on Ludicolo doesn't matter. Speed fall on the Bisharp. But we do get a +2 attack boost. Although it really doesn't matter because Beedrill is going to clean up in the end game. And finally, Beedrill gets to come in, do some work, pick up a KO. That seems amazing. Yeah, so Beedrill actually going to be able to put in some work. Look at Beedrill. Look at Beedrill. Look at how well Beedrill and Tapu Koko, their color matches. That's beautiful. Poison Jab and Iron Head. Really, I think the big turn was just allowing me to get it. Hydro Vortex. One, I didn't expect Hydro Vortex to knock out the Pelipper, because I remember Helping Hand Hydro Pump not even knocking out Pelipper. So I was actually really surprised that Helping Hand Hydro Vortex was actually able to KO my opponent's Pelipper. I guess maybe I have to look at that damage. I mean, Pelipper doesn't have the best special defense in the world. It's actually pretty poor. Its physical defense is actually pretty alright. I think it's pretty decent. I think it's 100. If I'm not mistaken. I am not confident, but I want to say it's base 100. But, you know, really low HP, so it doesn't really do that well. But yeah, able to pick up a victory there really quick. Beedrill was really great for that end game too. And if I got Tailwind up and denied my opponent Tailwind, like Mega Beedrill was able to do a ton of work in that matchup, I feel like. And surprised no Ferrothorn, because look at my team, look at Ferrothorn, what hits it? Exactly. Yes, I can chip it around with some big damage, but I'm not going to be able to pick up a knockout, and I don't even think a double from any combination my Pokemon can knock out, unless maybe I had Assurance on the Bisharp, for instance. Yeah, I think I would have needed, like, Assurance for the Bisharp. I would need Assurance. Yeah, actually, Ferrothorn might be scary. I might have to tech something. I might have to put, like, Fire Fang on the Garchomp. I mean, I don't really need Bulldoze. I mean, it was just an optional thing that I had. I might put Fire Fang, or I might at least recommend Fire Fang. We got Akichi 90 with our next game. Gonna bring the Incineroar, Landorus variant, Zapdos, Amoonguss. Okay, Landorus, Incineroar, Zapdos, Amoonguss, Tapu Fini, Metagross. Pretty standard team. No surprise there. We're probably just gonna see Rain lead, yada yada yada. I kind of want to lead Bisharp plus Beedrill, but I know that's probably not the right play. I kind of like, okay, what probably, they usually carry Mystic Seed Zapdos. Usually the optimal Rain lead is like Zapdos plus Tapu Fini. That's what most opponents, I would assume, would lead. Otherwise, I really don't know what you would lead realistically. Maybe I don't feel like you really Landers because Bisharp would become too threatening. Or maybe Amoonguss. I could see Amoonguss Zapdos, but that doesn't really change much. I think Ludicolo is a great lead here with Zapdos. I don't think I want to lead Rain Rod off the bat because I want to chip to Zapdos to put in Hydro Vortex range because I feel like that's going to be a key part of this matchup. I think Pelipper is really good here, and I'm thinking Beedrill or Bisharp in the back. I kind of want to go to B. No, I think the B is good. The reason why I want to bring the B, I think Bisharp's okay too in this matchup, but the reason I kind of want to try out Beedrill here is because I'm not sure if you're going to bring Double Intimidate. I don't think you're bringing Incineroar. I feel like no one has brought Incineroar to my team, and I want to test this Fury out. And if no one brings Incineroar, Landers is the only Intimidate user, and if I get rid of it, I can Swords Dance with my Beedrill. Poison Jab knocks out Amoonguss and Zapdos at +2. Or at least I believe it should, so that's the main reason why. We're going to see the Zapdos Tapu Fini lead. Yep. Okay, perfect. So I get a free Choice Specs Volt Switch and probably just a Fake Out into Zapdos realistically. Then I can put in Hydro Vortex range, which should be able to knock out. This should be a Misty Seed coming up as the Surges are going to activate, and no Misty Seed. I wonder if it's Z then. I mean, I might as well just go for the Fake Out into Zapdos and Volt Switch here. Into the Zapdos. Tapu Fini I could see switching out to Landers, especially if it has a U-turn. We're going to see the Zapdos switch out into Amoonguss. Okay, good switch by my opponent. I respect it. Fini protects? Yeah, okay. That actually gets me a lot of momentum, though, so I really don't mind that trade. I mean, get a little bit of chip on Amoonguss. I don't know if that's going to put it in range of a Hurricane, for instance, but that's some damage. Yeah, that's not damage at all, actually. But I can just go out in my Pelipper, or I could go Beedrill. This Tapu Fini can't... Who do you think the last Pokemon would be? Metagross? Because I could Swords Dance here realistically. Would it be that bad to go out on a Beedrill? Because I could go Pelipper, easily Ice Beam Hurricane the Amoonguss. But the problem is Tapu Fini gets a free Moonblast or Calm Mind. Let's try Beedrill out. I think Beedrill's okay here. Usually, the Amoonguss... I don't know. There could be Sludge Bomb coming out from this Amoonguss. I'm not sure how threatening it would be. You would have to double up Ludicolo to pick up the knockout. I think I'm just going to go for Giga Drain, and I am going to Mega Evolve Swords Dance. We'll find out what my opponent decides to do here, but I feel like I'm threatening a lot here. Of course, there is a Zapdos potential switch in. I do understand that, and Amoonguss, I guess, could go for Clear Smog, but other than Rage Powder, Amoonguss is pretty useless on the field. So I feel like this is a time, if I can set up with Beedrill, I do want to put it work with Beedrill, so this is why I'm doing it. We're going to see the switch out into Metagross. So Metagross is going to come out. That's the last Pokemon. Good to confirm that. As we will just Mega Evolve a Beedrill and be able to Swords Dance up, which is really good. And we'll see what my opponent does. I'm guessing it's Clear Smog into the Ludicolo or Sludge Bomb. It's one of those two for sure. But we know all four of my opponent's Pokemon, and yeah, there's no Intimidate at all from my opponent's side, so Beedrill can actually sweep. Get a decent amount of damage. Clear Smog going to come out, targets down to Ludicolo, so not really doing too much damage. Yep. I'd probably get knocked out by the Iron Head, though, but... I mean... I don't know, does Amoonguss protect you? That's the question. I feel like Ludicolo is a really big threat to you. But still, I'm not exactly sure. I think I'm going to go for the Poison Jab. Or do I go for the... Nothing really on my team takes an Iron Head. Well, you know what? If I can trade Beedrill for the Metagross, I'll definitely take it. I'm not sure if Amoonguss is going to protect. I don't know if U-Turn would actually be able to knock out the Metagross. I don't think it would. Like, I would love to try it out, but I don't think it will. I think Pelipper's just the right play because if I can trade Amoonguss here, I could get my free switch in Ludicolo. My opponent takes the Beedrill slot. So, we're going to see the switch in. I mean, the Metagross attack here. I'm also not confident if Ice Punch actually knocks out my Ludicolo or not. So, I just want to make a safe play here. As Amoonguss is going to go for a Rage Powder. Okay, excellent. So that means you're worried about Beedrill attacking. And the only reason I think you would Rage Powder is you're not attacking the Beedrill. I think you're attacking the Ludicolo slot. So Poison Jab, it will knock out the Amoonguss. Perfect. As we're going to see what come out from the Metagross. It's going to be the Ice Punch. That should be targeting down. Yep. Okay, perfect. Does about half. the Metagross is in guaranteed range of Hydro Vortex or Thunder in the Rain at this point. Like, my opponent doesn't have a good switch into Thunder in the Rain. Let's see what's going to come out here. Zapdos is probably going to come out. I could... Or Feeny. Okay, Feeny works too. I think I just go for... I don't need Tailwind at all. I realistically don't need Tailwind. I think I'm just going to scout for a Feeny Protect here and just Scald the Metagross because I feel like Protect could be coming out in an Iron Head and a Beedrill. This also works too because if my opponent even reads that and goes for the attack in the Pelipper, for instance, I get a free switch into Ludicolo. I threaten Hydro Vortex and Poison Jab the following turn. My opponent doesn't have good switch-ins for that. So either way, I'm pinning down my opponent right here. So Beedrill will protect here. We're going to see the Metagross attempt to go for the Iron Head. Does target down the Beedrill. And I do get a Scald off into the Metagross, which is pretty big because that does put it in range of look like another Energy Ball. Muddy Water going to come out, which is going to target down my Pelipper. Does this knock out? No, it doesn't. Accuracy drop little sucks, but I mean, not the worst case, I guess. And should I U-turn? I could U-turn out realistically into Ludicolo. I could do that. Hurricane does knock out Metagross anyway. Yeah, I'll go for Hurricane. And Poison Jab. I'm fine with letting Beedrill go down now. Yeah, because my opponent's not protecting. So Poison Jab going to come out, knock out the Feeny. So that's one direct down. And Metagross probably just going to go for the attack into Beedrill and hope for maybe a miss from the Pelipper. But Hurricane should probably knock out the Pelipper. But Beedrill putting in some work, getting 2 knockouts? Not bad. Hurricane going to finish off the Metagross here. So Zapdos against the world. I think... How many turns of Rain do I have left? I think I have 3. I think I go Ludicolo here. Fake out pressure. Go out into Tapu Koko. Yeah, I go into Tapu Koko. Yeah, I know how this game works. Zapdos going to come out. And... How many turns of Rain? There should be 3. No, 2. Okay. Just go hard Tapu Koko, go for a fake out into the Zapdos slot. Then I could go for Hydro Vortex into... the reason I switch out Pelipper there is so I can get Tapu Koko pressure in. I go for Thunder Hydro Vortex, even if the only way Zapdos can survive is by going for Protect. Takes the Hydro Vortex damage, but then I could just switch out my Ludicolo and the Pelipper, go for a Thunder, and then my opponent can't win because you're not taking 2 Choice Specs Thunders in a row. And I have Ludicolo in the back for another Fake Out Pressure and Ice Beam in the late game. So, yeah, that's how I was playing that game. And, yeah, I do think it was definitely worth it. And 2 wins with this team. Swords Dance putting in work. We finally get to click Swords Dance. Finally click Swords Dance. Like, oh, man. Love it. Love it. I love when a change on the team actually works. Let's see. Our third battles, I feel like, have been the curse battles. I feel like we've lost the last 2 game 3s in a row. Let's see if we can pick up a win for the 3rd game of today's episode. But yeah, overall, that game, I felt like Rangers had a really strong matchup. And as I said before, it looks like my opponents aren't bringing the Intimidate options with Landers and Incineroar because they're scared of Bisharp, and those Pokemon don't really do well against my Rain mode for the team. So yeah, and especially since I know that team, like, it's really hard to deal with Rain, especially with the Incineroar variant. If it was Tyranitar, it would be a lot better for my opponent, but Incineroar makes it worse. We're gonna see Kangaskhan, Incineroar, Tapu Koko, Landis variant, Kartana, and Tapu Fini as the last team of the day. What are we bringing here? Do you double Intimidate again, huh? Kartana's coming. Kangaskhan is like one of the worst matchups for this team. It really is. Also, I don't have a good Kartana end, so I gotta figure out how to beat that. My opponent doesn't have good leads for hard Rain other than maybe Koko Kartana. Yeah, I think I'll lead Pelipper Ludicolo here. Do I want to bring Bisharp? I think Koko's just really good here. The problem is the Kangaskhan in the end game. I'm really scared about the Kangaskhan in the end game. Not sure if you're going to bring Landers and Incineroar. We'll find out. I do think Beedrill and Tapu Koko are really good. I think Bisharp could be good, but I'm not exactly too sure. Was Garchomp worth it? Oh, no, I don't think I'm going to bring Garchomp. Let's find out how this is going to go. I think Garchomp's really only there for sand matchups. Because that's where I think... Not sand, sun matchups. That's where Charizard really shines. Let us see how this Game 3 is going to go. Can we pick up a win for the third game of today's episode? We will find out. What's my opponent going to lead? I'm guessing Kangaskhan or... No, Coco Kartana, I think. Pelipper, Ludicolo. I think Coco Kartana is just really strong. Oh, it's Kangaskhan Kartana. Okay. I wonder if you would fake out the Ludicolo, because I don't think you would fake out the Ludicolo. You could expect me to go straight for the Hydro Vortex in the Kangaskhan, which is why I could see it. Yet I'm just not too sure if you would go for it. I don't know if Kartana goes for Tailwind either. I think I want to go straight for the Hurricane and the Hydro Vortex into the Kangaskhan. Because if you go for the fake out on a Pelipper, the only way you can knock out Ludicolo with Kartana is by going for your Z move right away. And that means Thunder from Tapu Koko does knock out the Kartana. If you get Tailwind up, it wouldn't be too bad of a situation, I think. I guess it could be still a troublesome situation. Do I go for Tailwind? I think Tailwind might be better. Although I really want to go... Yeah, I think Tailwind is better here. I'll go for the Hydro Vortex in the Kang and a Tailwind. I could also go for the Hydro Vortex in Kartana, but I'm not risking a Sash or Assault Vest Kartana right off the bat. I don't think that's worth it. I realistically don't think that's worth it. You're definitely going for Fake Out, or you're going straight for the Double Edge / Return into Ludicolo. I think those are the two plays here. Kartana goes for Detect. Wow. Fake Out, Detect. Okay. I guess maybe my opponent was worried about me going for the Hydro Vortex. This confirms it's not a Assault Vest. It's not a Assault Vest Kartana in the least, and I will be able to get a knockout on the Kangaskhan slot, but still. Really? Fake Out Protect? I don't think I would risk a Hydro Vortex turn 1 to Kartana. I feel like that's never a play I would someone should make. I can see Fake Out. Maybe my opponent's worried about losing a Sash potentially. Kangaskhan survives the attack, so that's a bulky Kang. We'll go for Tailwind now. And I really don't want to give my opponent a switch in. I guess I could see Feeny come in, so I'm going to Giga Drain the Kangaskhan slot. Sucker Punch is probably coming out for the Kangaskhan, and a Leaf Blade in Ludicolo potentially. It could be a... yeah, I think Sucker Punch comes out in the Ludicolo. Maybe if the Kangaskhan has Protect, goes for Protect. But no, none of those, actually. So I get a Giga Drain off in the Kangaskhan. Do pick up a knockout. I don't know if Leaf Blade knocks out the Pelipper. I think it should. Leaf Blade going to come out. Tari's down to Ludicolo, though. That's not going to knock out. Yeah, needed a crit. Thankfully, didn't get it. Tailwind is going to go up. Nice. So I do have turns to work with here. Of course, my opponent could potentially be having the Tailwind on the Kartana. We're going to see Tapu Koko come out. I have Beedrill for that Tapu Koko. I don't want Tailwind going up for my opponent. I could go for the Hydro Pump in the Koko. I mean, Hurricane's great damage overall. I think it's actually worth going for the Hydro Pump in the Koko. Even if Kartana's Sash or is Eevee to live Hurricane, I don't think that's really too hurtful for me, because I don't see a reason not to risk Hydro Pump in the Koko. We do land the Hydro Pump in the Tapu Koko as no Protects come out. Tapu Koko goes straight down. I feel like because I would have put the Kartana in range of either Dazzling Gleam for my Choice Specs Tapu Koko or a U-turn from my Beedrill, so either way it was fine. It is going to reveal that it's the Focus Sash Kartana, as we are going to see just a Leaf Blade come out and target down the Pelipper this time, which will be able to pick up the knockout, looks like. With a critical hit, I actually don't know if it would have knocked out the neutral or if the critical hit mattered, but I don't really mind at this point because Pelipper did his job. My opponent's in a really, really tough position here, as I'll go with my Beedrill. Go to Beedrill. And we'll see what my opponent decides to do here. Landorus going to come out. Okay, so pretty free Ice Beam here into the Landorus, and I have to U-turn. That's kind of annoying, actually. The reason that's kind of annoying is because if this Landorus lives an Ice Beam, gets an Earthquake, I mean, if it is to solve its Landorus, I don't think it lives Ice Beam with Choice Specs. Gleam. Here's my problem. If you do live and go for an Earthquake, this could actually be tough. I don't know if Landorus has Protect. I think the best play is actually, since my opponent's never gone for Tailwind, I think the best play is to Ice Beam Landorus and Protect Beedrill. I am giving my opponent a window of opportunity if there is Protect on the Kartana, but I feel like you would have went for it already if you had it. Ice Beam going to come out into the Landorus. Looks like it's not Assault Vest, so I'm just able to knock out the Landers, and that should be game because Kartana will not be able to knock out either one of my Pokemon. Leap Blade going to come out of Ludicolo. Okay, so my thought process there was if I go for the U-turn into the Kartana and I go for Ice Beam into the Lander slot, and Ice Beam does around, let's say, 70 to 80, 70%, right? I'm thinking 70% because I'm thinking like, what if I get a low roll and it's a Bulky Landers with AB, right? So what happens there? I U-turn the Kartana if it doesn't protect there. If I U-turn the Kartana and it doesn't protect, I'm forced to bring out the Coco. Landers might go for an Earthquake there, and if you go for the Earthquake potentially, you knock out my Tapu Koko and my Ludicolo, and I'm forced to bring Beedrill, and if Beedrill doesn't knock out the Landers, that's game over. I feel like this was a way that I could easily just at least get the Ice Beam damage off into the Landers, and if it was a... Okay, I'm just, this game's over. But I thought that was a way that I potentially just give myself the best odds because of the fact that I feel like my play covered the Assault Vest. And if it wasn't Assault Vest, I either knock it out or I reveal as Protect. And if it reveals Protect, I just go my Tapu Koko afterward, click Choice Specs, Hidden Power Ice since I do carry it still. Forgot to change the discharge, by the way, but that's the reason why I made that play, because if my opponent had Tailwind, I feel like he would have went for it a long time ago. Same reason with Bloom Doom. We saw it was Focus Sash, but we didn't see Bloom Doom. I wasn't sure if it would carry Tailwind. I felt like if my opponent had Tailwind, he would have went for it already, so like maybe turn 1 or turn 2 for instance. So that's the main reason why I decided to make the plays that I did, because of the fact that the only way I lost there was if my opponent actually went for Tailwind there. Like if my opponent went for Tailwind there and it was a Assault Vest Landers, but then again, let me see, how many turns did I have? I think I had one more turn of Tailwind, so even if it was Assault Vest Landers, I mean, I'd still be able to get the Ice Beam off, so Tapu Koko would still outspeed regardless. Unless it was a Choice Scarf Landers, but if it was Choice Scarf Landers, obviously the Ice Beam just knocked it out there. I think it just covered the most amount of plays my opponent could have potentially made in that game. Yes, my opponent could have maybe protected Landers, went for a Leap Blade into the Ludicolo, but then I bring out my Tapu Koko, Choice Specs, Hidden Power Ice, knocks out the Landers, and I still have my Beedrill to outspeed and knock out the Kartana before Koko gets threatened. So I had multiple outs, I felt like, in that game. I felt like it gave me the best odds. I feel like there wasn't really a play my opponent could have done other than maybe Tailwind, but I don't think, since I still have one more Tailwind and I still have the Rain Up, I feel like overall, like, I don't believe that my opponent had a chance of winning. So that's the reason I made the plays I did. But I hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. If you did like it, please leave a like down below. It shows the support. As well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social medias, the sites in my channel, and all that good stuff will be linked down below, as well as the team if you do want to go try it out in the description down below. And feel free to leave a comment as I do read them. Otherwise, you can check out my other social medias, including my Twitch channel, where you can catch awesome live streams. They are really fun. And I think that is pretty much it. If you missed the previous episode, there's a playlist down below. Otherwise, have a great day, people. And until we battle again, I'll catch you all later.